So the Sevilla and United game, the second leg of it was shocking. Honestly shocking. I know we were doing okay in the first leg and we scored the 2, and then obviously 2 own goals were scored, but there's not much we could do about that. And obviously it was going to be a big challenge going to Spain then and trying to beat them on their home ground, as well as the fact Sevilla are known to be ridiculously good in the Europa League. So in this I'm going to have a look at like how Ten Hag lined up the squad and how I would have lined it up, what I predicted the score would be, what else is it? I have it here somewhere. Player performances, so like who I thought were good, who I thought were bad. I think there was 3 players in specific I was a bit, well, 2 of them I was a bit disappointed with. One, it's him doing the same thing he's done, and then some of the subs that were made. Some of them in this game I don't think should have been made. I was sitting there watching the game, I was like sitting there and it's like, put this player on, come on, we need fresh legs, get them on, and then obviously the player didn't come on. So I'm going to be talking about this. So the first part obviously I want to talk about is the lineups. So Ten Hag's lineup is going to be here, and how I would have lined up is here. There's a couple of changes. I think the biggest one that kind of stands out is the fact Sancho, I'd have him playing in the central attacking mid kind of position over on the left. If you've seen the video I put up of players that keep, sell, loan out, there was 2 players I think we should try them in a different position, see if that works out, and then sell them. One of them being Sancho. I think he'd be a better attacking mid than a left winger. So if you want to watch that, that's kind of where I go a bit more into it. But I have him playing there as attacking mid because I think we rely on Bruno a lot in that attacking mid. And I'm not saying he's bad or there's something wrong with Bruno. He is unreal at times. Like there's times where he's sitting there, it's like, how have you made that pass? How have you dinked that out of that player? That type of stuff. But he's brilliant at times. But the squad takes such like a hit when he's either injured or he gets a yellow and he's not able to play, which is what happened with the second leg of the Sevilla game. So I think we should have played Sancho more as an attacking mid. I think that's the biggest difference there that I have on my one. So that's pretty quick run now. I don't want to spend too long talking about what the score I thought it was going to be. To be completely honest, I did think we were going to lose the second leg. Obviously, as I said, it was on Sevilla's home pitch. It's hard to then come back at a 2-2. There's a lot more pressure. Sevilla are really good in Europa League, so I think that was going to have an effect on what I predicted the score was going to be. And I got close. I got pretty close. So I predicted we would lose 4-2. Obviously, it being Sevilla would score 2 more, which it was until De Gea came off his line. So I'm going to move on from the score I predicted, and then I'm going to talk about player performances. And talking about De Gea, he was one of the players I was just disappointed with. He the corner, or was it free kick? I think it was a corner or free kick, but the ball came in over a couple of defenders, and I personally felt like he should have gotten to that. Just personally think if you are at that level and you've been playing the game for as long as De Gea is, you realistically should be getting to that ball. But sometimes it is just easier for us watching it to sit back and go, oh well, you should have passed him, you should have saved that, in comparison to where the players are and what they're seeing. The second thing, and this is the thing that really annoyed me, is when he essentially gave them their 5th goal. I'm sure De Gea knows himself that he's not great with the ball at his feet. And I noticed this a couple of times in the second leg. he seemed to just drift off his line. Like, when we're in the other half, when we're in Sevilla's half or the opposition's half, I can understand him coming out a bit. But there's at times where I feel like he's just drifting off. It's almost like you're playing FIFA and then your controller just disconnects and your player just starts walking. It's like that at times, I personally think. But him coming almost like... He came out so far, it honestly looked like he was nearly trying to run to the halfway line. But I don't know what he was trying to do taking that ball down. I don't know whether he was trying to control it a bit. I don't know whether he was thinking, I'll control it, I'll pass it off, or whether that was his first thought, and then halfway through he was like, nah, I'll just boot it. And then went, oh, do you know what, I genuinely can't figure out what his thinking was to try and get to that ball. He realistically should have just stayed on his line. If they get through and they score, you're not going to have people going, well, why were you off your line, what are you playing at? It will just be, they just scored another goal, that type of thing. But that coming off his line as far as he did, I genuinely don't know what he was thinking with that. Second player I'm going to talk about, obviously, it's Maguire. I'm honestly getting sick and tired of this man. Like, he just is mid to lower table level. He is not a United level player. I don't think he ever has been. Like, it's grand enough for him to be playing well at Leicester, but that's because he fit the Leicester system better. Like, Leicester would play 5 at back, being 3 centre backs and their full backs, and that's where he fits good when he plays for England. So I genuinely don't know why he was bought to fit in a 4 at the back. I genuinely can't wrap my head around it, and I personally think it's probably one of the worst transfers United has had in recent times. But whether it's to do with he's a bad player, the decision he made and what cost us the goal that he is at fault at, without a shadow of a doubt, is he gets the ball. And now if some people didn't catch the second leg, essentially he's gone out left. He's gone out further left. He's gone out almost in between where your centre back and your left back should be. So kind of edge of the box, like. And he's going and he gets the ball and he passes it off to De Gea then. And then Maguire makes a run and you see him do it and he looks around to see where Sevilla players are, so he's aware, right? And then he calls for the ball. De Gea passes it to him, and by the time the ball's gotten to him, those 3 Sevilla players that he's seen are closing in on him. Does he pass it? You know, just a panic pass? Does he maybe hoof it like any normal person would by just panicking, I'm just going to get it out of here and just wallop it as far as you can? No, he just stands there. He takes the ball, turns into a Sevilla player, who then gets the ball, and they're gone, then they've scored. I don't get, like, if he passed that ball off, looked around to see where the players are, turned and the ball's coming to him, then I don't understand, and you'd be a bit, he'd be like, hey, that was just a stupid pass, he wasn't ready and he wasn't seeing where you were, or watching where the ball was. But no, he asked for the ball, and you're sitting there, look, what are you doing, man? There's 3 coming towards you, and you've called for it, you've lost it, and then you're just too slow to get back to your position to defend. What are you thinking? What is... De Gea and Maguire made mistakes there, and I'm sure, I'm convinced I can't be the only one who was sitting watching them and just going, what is your thought process? What vision did you have? Like, what was your next step? It just looked like you did it for a crack and then just got the ball and went, don't know what to do now. I have the ball, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't know. Oh, they've scored. Like, surely. Like, some of the passing and the plays on that field were almost Sunday League level. Maguire annoyed me. De Gea disappointed me a bit. Now another player, I was just kind of sad to see how he played. which is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Don't get me wrong, he's improved massively this season. He's been great at times, but just in general, I think he's been like decent level. He's improved so much over the past season. So to see him play the way he did in that second leg was just devastating. It was like at times he looked like Trent Alexander-Arnold, just standing at the right back and just almost looking lost, like he hasn't been awake or he's not aware where he is. It's, I don't know, this is a thing, and I think it's something that has a lot of United fans going, just sell him. He's done decent, he's improved a bit, sell him, and we just get a replacement. And it's that at times he's really inconsistent. As I said, it's like he doesn't know where he is or why he's on the pitch. And I was really sad. I genuinely was. I was really upset. It was really saddening to see him play like that, because I wouldn't say he's been one of our best players, but he certainly hasn't been as bad as he was last season. So yeah, it was a bit sad to see him kind of drop off like that. The players I personally think weren't great. They and Bissaka, I was just a bit kind of disappointed to see them how they played in that game. But Maguire is just, he's really getting me blood to boil recently. He's just playing shockingly. Some of the subs that were made in that game were really confusing to me as well. Like, we had Ten Hag took off Wan-Bissaka for Shaw. I was like, that's fair enough. It's okay. Eriksen for Alanga. That one was weird, because Alanga is that kind of winger, so I don't know what the thing was that, or whether he pushed it out. I don't know. I don't think I got the last couple of minutes when Alanga was put on. Sancho and Rashford, I can understand that. They're both left wingers, so that's a very simple one. Sabitzer for Fred, again, kind of played that same kind of all-round midfielder. Makes sense. Martial and Weghorst, it's our striker for our centre forward. So most of them made sense. The only one that really had me scratching my head was the Eriksen for Alanga. I don't know whether he just told Alanga just kind of sit around that central mid and play balls forward. So some of the subs I would have made were pretty. Like the ones I would have made is I would have taken Maguire off for Shaw. Again, Maguire's just he's just really getting annoying, and he's just making stupid mistakes that I don't think a team like United should be making in things like the Europa League. So I would have taken Eriksen off as well. He looked knackered, so I would have taken him off, but instead of putting Fred in, or was it? No, instead of putting Alanga in, I would have put Iqbal. I think he's underused at the squad. Like, you look at players like Pelestri, Garnacho and Alanga, who are getting their time and they are younger, but I think people like Iqbal need to get more time. Again, I think when it comes to this, when our first team players do get tired and we do have these younger players as substitute options, play them, get them time. You know, I know some people might say, do you not think it's a bit much pressure for them? Yeah, a little bit, but they're going to have to deal with that pressure when they get older and they're playing in things like Europa League, like the FA Cup, like the Champions League. They're going to have that either way. So if you get them used to it at a younger age, I think they'll deal with it better when they're then integrated into being some of the starting 11. That's just my viewing it and how I'm thinking. Sancho or Pelestri, I think Pelestri is savage. I think he's so good. He's probably one of my favourite players. Just his dribbling and some of the balls he can play. There's been times where he's played in passes, or he's done a through pass, he's crossed it. I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's Eriksen-esque type pass, and I think he's brilliant. So it's slight bias because I like him so much, but I don't really care. I'd be putting him on for Sancho. Sabitzer and Fred would have been what I would do. And instead of Sancho for Rashford, I would have done Martial for Rashford. Because, don't get me wrong, Weghorst pushes and he follows and he does all that and he puts pressure on. But when you're in that where you're 2-0 down, you need someone who you can rely on for getting goals, and Rashford is that without a doubt over Weghorst. So that's really all that I'm going to talk about, and all I wanted to talk about in this video. But yeah, it was just it wasn't great. I knew it was going to be a hard game for United to win, but some of the player performances and some of the subs I would have done differently. But I'm not Eric Ten Hag, and I'm not in charge of Manchester United as a manager. So what can you do? Well, that's going to be it for this video. So as I said, if you want to know more about what I was on about Sancho playing as an attacking midfielder, I have a video up on players that I'd sell, I'd keep, some I'd loan out, as well as some players that we have in on loan, what I'd do with them. So if you want to hear what I think of that, go watch that. And I should have another video up about the Brighton game for the FA Cup. Either it's up already or it'll be up soon. So either way, if it's up, you can go watch that. If you don't want to, that's fine. Don't have to. But yeah, I'll talk to you in the next one.